Hi everyone, welcome back to another video, and I'm going to be taking a look today at this pedal here, the Strymon Blue Sky V2 reverb pedal. So we'll get straight into the sounds. First of all though, I'm not going to show every single sound this thing will do, but at the end I will come back and explain what the controls are and stuff like that. And I am running straight into my computer via the interface and amp software. So this pedal will be a little bit cleaner sounding than you'll hear today in the effects loop of an amp, but due to the time I'm filming and stuff, and to be fair, a lot of people will use these into interfaces and amp software, so that's how we're going to hear it. So let's get straight on to some of my favourite sounds in this pedal, and then I'll come back and give you my very honest views on is it worth the £350 price tag that this pedal carries. So let's get on to the sound demos. So you heard some of the sounds just there then, and I just tried to dial in my favourites really, which is just a good, nice, splashy spring reverb, and then something that's very sort of pre-delayed, very long, which is great for doing the higher gain kind of volume swells. So that's just how I wanted to dial it in, because that's how, my two favourite uses for reverb. So before I get on to, do I think this pedal's actually worth the money, because it's a lot of folding paper, what this will cost. I will talk you through the sort of sounds, well, the controls and the ins and outs of the pedal, if I can get the camera to focus with you here. Yeah, so there we go then. So just here you've got a pre-delay, so that's how soon the reverb will kick in after you play a note essentially. Most of the time you'll want it quite low. If you go over very high you'll get more of a sort of slap back kind of sound. The decay is how long is the tail of the reverb, how long does it go on. The mix, obviously, how much of that is mixed into your signal. And this shimmer knob, which I won't be focusing on a lot today, but I'll come back to in just a second. Now, these two controls in the middle are, for me, essential on any reverb pedal, especially this high one here. So, that if you've ever listened to people, especially on YouTube and on videos and stuff, and their reverb just sounds like a hiss in the background, that's often because the treble, the higher end of that reverb tail, is just fizzing all the time, and it is what separates a good and bad reverb sound. And so the fact that you've got that here is very, very important. Another thing to note with any reverb pedal is, and I did try and show this in the sound demos just there, but it probably won't come across without explaining it. the amount of reverb you get isn't necessarily just down to how much mix or how much decay you have on. It's down to how much input signal you're getting into the pedal. So if you've got a reverb pedal and you're just like, oh, it's just not quite got enough, enough splash or enough decay, try running a little compressor or a small booster in front of the reverb, and you'll notice it will drastically increase the sort of the effect of the reverb pedal. And like I said, I did try and demo that, but I'm not sure, not sure how well it come across. So, just on the back then, it is a stereo out, as you can see. You've got your 9-volt power supply. These will run off any 9-volt power supply that I've tried. You don't have to use the one it comes with, so it's separate to your other pedals. It'll run, as long as you've got like a 300 milliamp out, it will power this pedal. The only other thing is you've got a USB-C port on the top, which I'm assuming is for updates, as well as some, maybe you've got a MIDI expression pedal, something like that. You'd have a MIDI adapter in there. So plenty of I/O, and the controls are good enough. But is it worth the £350 that this pedal costs? And my honest opinion to that, in terms of just straight up how it sounds, what does it, does it feel right, does it feel expensive, is no. Honestly, I think this is, as far as reverb pedals go, very, very overpriced. I have played other reverb pedals much cheaper than this and been equally happy with the result. And if you're wondering, like, what box does it come in for all that money, it's just one of these. It's just a simple cardboard miniature shoebox. It's not like, some of these boutique things where you get like just really nice little add-ons and bits and bobs that have nothing to do with the product, but they just make you feel good about about spending so much money. I mean, what it does say on the front in big writing is Strymon, and therefore you just know it's expensive. Now, I would caveat all of that by saying I don't know what this thing is like on the road, on a hard gig tour or something like that. Maybe it makes up for its price in that way. Maybe this thing is bomb-proof. I don't know. In that case, yeah, it's worth some more money. But honestly, my opinions on this pedal is you can find a reverb that does everything this does for considerably less money. And I know we didn't touch on the shimmer and the mods of this. There's plenty of videos out there if you want to see that. But to me, that's another effect, very specific to a certain type of person. And again, you'll find pedals way cheaper than this that do that better. Because all of the sort of mod effects on here, they're a thing. They do like the ambient shoegazy type thing, but they're all pretty subtle. And I know that you can find freeze pedals and modulation pedals that have, stuff like from Earthquaker Devices and companies like that will do pedals like that. Plus you'll be able to get a nice reverb pedal for less than the cost of this. So as much as I like it, I dialed in the sounds that I really liked, and like I said at the start of the video, running into an amp in the effects loop, it's a really high quality signal, especially the spring reverb. That's where this thing shines for me. The spring reverb is good. But again, you can find cheaper pedals with a bit of EQ on the reverb, that will do the same thing. So that is my first impressions of the Strymon Blue Sky. Let me know what you think. Maybe you're one of these people that has 6 Strymon pedals all on a line and you're like, this is the best thing ever. But maybe the Big Sky, I think it's called, is something even better than this, and therefore, because this is already so expensive, maybe you're just worth getting that extra bit more, and maybe that one's even better. Let me know what you think. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on another video.